All right. Blessings, everyone. Blessings, blessings. I am Prophetess LaFaye Jefferson, and I want to just take the time to welcome you to my YouTube channel. This is your first time watching, tuning in, listening to me live. I want to welcome you, even those that will watch me on the replay. So, right now, I am starting a new series called The Snake Parable. It's something that the Lord has led me to do. And I had to really make sure God wanted me to release this information. This is a very deep, intense revelation that the Lord gave me about 3 years ago, I want to say. And my goal is to turn this into a book. It's my goal. But I will begin to see how God leads me. So, real quick, I'm just going to dive in. I'm going to share just part of it. So, as of March 30th in 2019, I'll never forget, it was a Saturday night. It was a Saturday night, and I was asleep. And I was awakened out of my sleep around 2 a.m. 2 a.m. I was waking up out of my sleep, and instantly I seen a vision. I was laying in the middle of my bed in the dark, and I began to see this large anaconda. This large anaconda that began to attack me. It began to bite me all over my body, and this anaconda basically was like half man, half snake, and it was big. And I mean, it was just crazy, but this what happened. And as the snake in the vision began to bite me, right, I literally felt the intensity of every snake bite. So then also appearing in the vision was this group of people standing around me, just looking at me, you see what I'm saying, being in this position. They're looking at me and everything. And I began to think to myself, I was just like, wow, why did this happen to me? Why did this snake just started attacking me? And then people standing and watching. So then in the vision, you know how you go from like one place all the way to another place or whatever. So then in the vision, it switched to I was, fully dressed and everything, but you can see the snake bites. You could just see it all over my body. And just the intensity of it was still there. Like spiritually, I can see the marks all over my body. And the people, some people was like, wow, look what happened to her, or why did that happen to her? Everybody was trying to figure it out. Everybody was trying to figure out why this took place, why this happened, because it was just that intense. It was very intense why this took place. But it did. It did. But what people was also amazed at is how, in spite of what did happen to me, okay, I made it through that. Those bites, those wounds became scars. And then in the vision, it shifted to me being in a nice suit. And some people seen the scars and they were just amazed at the type of person that I am. How can something like this happen to you? And then how you turned out in spite of these snake bites. So this vision lasted for a while. And all I could do is just sit there. It was like an out of my body experience. And now all I could do is just sit there and just be like, wow, what just happened? Because it felt real. It was something spiritual that happened. It felt real. This vision happened, and like I said, my whole body began to just itch and be tingling. And I felt that way. It lasted for like 2 to 3 days. And spiritually, I began to see these big old just snake bites all over my body, on my hands, everywhere. And it was kind of disturbing to even look at it. And it's something that I had to just allow it to just process, do what it do. But I felt this tingling for a while. So as I went in the presence of the Lord, He began to just give me the revelation of what he was showing me now. This vision really just goes to show you how I'm just going to be open and transparent. I was in an abusive place, situation. I used to sing in a choir at a church, and I was not treated right. I was not treated right. I was not handled right by the different members in the choir. So I did notice that, and check this out. After this vision happened, like I said, I had that tingling, that funny, weird feeling all over my body. After this vision happened, everything, sometimes it would wear off. But when I would go to choir rehearsal, that same tingling, itching feeling would come over me again. I'm telling you, now this went on for like a week. It was the weirdest thing. It was just very intense. But I was not handled right. I was not treated right because of how I look, because of my talent. And they did try to make it hard for me to sing, to lead a song, to sing in the front. It was a lot of issues, a lot of drama, different things going on. But in the midst of that situation, everything that happened, I made it through it in spite of the mistreatment. Being in this group, singing in this group, I made it through that. And God was showing me how He was delivering me. Okay? It was me being delivered from that and free, truly free from that, and not allowing that bad experience or a group of people who did not like me, who was intimidated by me, it did not stop me, okay, from being who I am. It didn't stop me at all. It didn't stop me from singing at all. So I really did learn from this experience. I have never had an experience like this before. And I mean, God really just, the revelation is like pages long. Like I said, I really plan to write a book about it, but I'm going to try to squeeze all of this into 6 series if I could. Squeeze it all in. And two scriptures that this really thing I would have to say is directed by is Proverbs 4 and 7 and Matthew 7 and 6. That is really directed by. It's really directed by because we're going to go through something. We're going to deal with things. But part of what we go through, we have to understand why we go through it. We got to understand why is it happening. We got to understand the purpose of it. So, this series, as the first series of this, the snake parable, this series is called The Full Understanding of Snakes. Now, snakes have multiple meanings, as we know, but what I am focusing on tonight, I am focusing on the bad side of snakes. I'm going to blend the natural and the spiritual. So we already know, right, about the python spirit. We already know how a person can be a snake or have the characteristics of a snake. That snake can represent so many things. The snake can represent manipulation. The snake can represent abuse. The snake can represent bullying. The snake can represent some type of mistreatment. We can give it different names, confusion or torment, right? We can give these snakes so many names. But no matter where we go, no matter what we do, no matter who we are, it's possible in our life we may encounter a snake. We may run into somebody that is literally a snake. And of course, we're not going to see it up close. Of course, we ain't going to know. Excuse me, when I first got into this choir, I didn't know. You don't know who is who. You don't know what is what. You don't know until you really get involved and find out why some people are the way that they are. Why do they feel like they have to bully? Why do they feel like they have to tease? Why do they feel like they have to do the things that they do? Right? So we will begin to see that. And then also, sometimes it's like we may know a person is a snake. We may see some things, you may see some hints, but what we do is we will scoot it under the rug. We may be in denial. We may try to act like we don't see what we see because, well, yeah, you give a person the benefit of a doubt. Nobody wants to be called a snake. Nobody wants to be called a snake. But you would give a person the benefit of a doubt, but only to find out that whatever it is you were sensing, your gut feeling, or whatever it is that you saw the first time, that's exactly what is there. That is exactly what is there. This person is a snake. It could be naturally or spiritually. This person has characteristics of a snake. So, yes, it's there. But what also is there is what's attracting that snake to you. What's attracting it? Say we gave the snake a name, jealousy. What is attracting it? The snake bite or the snake bullying. What's attracting that snake? Because it's something right about you. Something that you have is attracting it. So that's another important thing to get the understanding of. We must get the understanding of that. Hallelujah. Everything is not intentional. Not not every little thing. But even if it's unintentional, you have to know the reason why the snake is coming your way. It can be something positive. Let's just say because of beauty. You're a very attractive man or you're a very attractive woman. But you have this snake that's disturbed by that. Or they get insecure when they get around you. So you can attract that snake of insecurity, insecure people to bite you, to attack you because of your beauty. As crazy as it sounds, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. A person may get attacked for random reasons, for all kind of reasons. But it's very important to understand why you are being attacked. It's very important to understand why this is happening. Do you realize that this is happening? Because sometimes people may not realize they're being attacked by a snake. They're being attacked by something demonic. When I was in this choir, at first I didn't realize it because I have been a person, you get used to people criticizing you, coming at you, talking about you, especially when you singing on stage. Somebody got an opinion, somebody looking at you crazy. But sometimes when you are in that position, right, you have to, number one, be in the spirit. Not that you don't realize what's going on around you. You're not aware of your surroundings, but you have to be in the spirit. You most definitely do. When you on that stage, you shouldn't really be in your flesh too much. And then you have to find a way to just zone all that out and don't allow the people or what's going on, what's being said to distract you ministering through song on stage. That's a snake distraction because you don't even realize that's what's happening, especially if it's something that keeps reoccurring, right? It keeps reoccurring, it keeps happening over and over and over again. You don't even realize it. But in that vision, as I was being delivered, as I was being really just removed, and God showing me, I'm just being removed because not too long ago after that, I eventually got out the choir. But in that very moment, it's like spiritually I began to see what really happened to me all this time. I'm just being attacked and attacked and attacked and attacked and attacked and attacked. And people in the church have seen the attacks. They have seen the wounds. They have seen it. It's kind of publicly known. And this wasn't a small church. This was a mega church. This was a mega church that this happened. I will never forget when we were singing on stage, and before we actually got our building, we met at this big stadium in Chicago called the UIC Pavilion. It's very big, like a football stadium, or I say half the football stadium. And we was on stage, and I'm tall. The mic was in front of me. It's like three altos sharing the mic. And literally, this older lady who she just kept bumping heads with me in front of everybody. We in front on the stage like a stadium. She put her head in front of mine in the mic. So not only is she blocking me, she blocking the other alto. And I I was being tested. I was literally being tested. And when people saw the look on people's faces was like, what is going on? I'm talking about hundreds of people. You can literally see them just looking at me like, wow. But what did I do? I noticed that. Had she just like put her head in front of my head? I noticed that. So I just kept on singing. I didn't make a scene. I didn't try to fight the lady. I ain't put my hands on her. I ain't say nothing to her. I just kept on singing. And I began to see the pastor reaction, different people reactions. And how I was told they was very proud of you because everybody saw what happened. But how you handled it. You handled that very well. And literally, we went to go sit after we finished singing. We went to go sit down, But when we get back on stage, as you know, the pastor will ask the praise team and the choir come back on stage to help close the service out. The director had to literally stand in between me and this lady on stage. He had to stand there in front of all these people, y'all. If you don't say that ain't a snake bite, but whatever it was, I did let it. I'm admit, I was a little bit embarrassed. I was a little bit embarrassed, but I didn't let it phase me. I didn't allow it to get me out of character because that was enough to pull anybody character. This was an older person acting up in front of all these people on stage, on camera, recording, live stream, all across the world. Everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. So I say that to say my deliverance from all of that led me to see why these snakes come, why these snakes attack you, because there are different reasons. Really, the full understanding what's going on and what to do about it. Because to be honest with you, you're not going to stop encountering these snakes. You're not. We all know the nature of a snake, the whole purpose of a snake, and the different traps that these snakes set. We all know it. But these snakes will set some traps. And people will fall right for them. The song that I played, that's the song that God gave me as He was delivering me from this situation. It was that song, God of Miracles, Signs, and Wonders. As He gave me the full revelation of this. And who would have ever thought that there would be snakes in a choir? But it was. Or on a praise team, but it is. It really is. And come to find out, a lot of people are a snake or have the character traits of a snake because they were bitten, they were attacked, they were treated the same way. They were treated the exact same way. So I learned also to not be judgmental. Of course, you're not going to like that you've been attacked by a snake or been attacked by a particular person. But I learned to not be so judgmental, and I learned to be understanding of a person with certain issues or why people do the things that they do. Sometimes when a person sees some things about you, like I said, something is attracting that snake that will cause them to bite you. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't justify it, but that will cause them to bite you. That will cause them to attack you. because of something that they see or something that they don't like or something that they disagree with, personally disagree with, that would cause them to do that to you. They feel justified in what they did because they came across something that they don't like. Now, another thing that the Lord began to show me, the visions He began to show me, is other people that have experienced the same thing. Like some people, I seen snake bites on their face, or I seen snake bites on them. I seen snake bites on their back. And He also showed me how some people were hiding their snake bites. But I began to see celebrities, different well known people that had the same snake bites on them. I began to see how some of these people fell for the traps of the snake. They fell for it. And before you know it, that snake wrapped his body around them and swallowed them whole. I began to see that a lot of people just swallowed whole. It overtook them. They became that thing. They fell for the trap of that snake. Because anytime a snake bites you, anytime, right, you encounter or go through something like that, it is not good. An encounter with a snake is not a good thing in this sense, in this way that we're talking about. It's not good. But some people probably don't think. They'll just go along with it, or they'll fall for the trap or whatever it is set there, and the snake just will them in. And it can happen to anybody. You get bit enough, you get attacked enough, you just may become that thing. It can happen to anybody. A person, let's say abused, a person has been abused enough can end up abusing other people because that's what's in them. That's what has overtaken them because it happened to them so much. They have literally become what they know. They don't know nothing else but abuse. That's what's in them. So that's a very indicator that they have encountered a snake the wrong way. They have. As I get ready to wrap this up, because I didn't plan to be too long tonight, but as I begin to wrap this up, one thing I really want to say, and God has been even been dealing with me personally, how you cannot save or help everybody, even a snake. Because, like I said before, on my last prophetic press release, God may use you. You may encounter a bad experience with a snake, but that particular snake, that particular issue, God may use you to heal that person. He may use you to deliver that person or break that off of them. That is true. That is possible. Because sometimes that's what people really need. They need to be delivered. They need to be free from that python spirit. They need to be free from them learned behaviors. They need to be free for whatever is causing them to be a snake. Think like a snake, function like a snake, everything. They need to be free. He may give you the power to break that off of them. But also, it is possible that you may encounter a snake that is not meant for you to free. It's not meant for you to be delivered by. Maybe somebody else, but not me. Not this prophet. Because if we're not careful, we will end up casting our pearls to swine. If you are not careful, you can't help everybody. You want to, especially when a person seriously has a problem. But you will encounter some people that actually want to stay a snake. They want to stay the way they are. They don't want to change. They see what it is that they're doing. They know they're attacking people. They know they're mistreating people. They know they're not handling people right. They know they're not doing right. Even in the sight of God, they know. But they choose to remain a snake. They feel like it's meant for them to be a snake. They feel like that's how they're supposed to be. And you don't have to live your life that way, but you'll be surprised how many people feel that way. They have to be that way. It have to be that way. They feel like they have to just be tough or so tough, so this, so that. And you don't. You don't have to be that way at all. And sometimes when you find yourself trying to help somebody, trying to free somebody, trying to deliver somebody, you will mess around and just keep getting bit over and over and over and over and over until you about to die because this person done bit you so many times. That snake in them done bit you so many times. They keep showing you over and over that they are a snake. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, they are a snake and they are not going to change. They don't want to be free. They don't want to be delivered. They don't want to be helped. You have to learn. The best wisdom I can give is to let them people go. You're not giving up on people. They gave up on themselves. They been gave up on themselves. You just let them go. You just let go. You just release. You just say, okay, you know what? One day you're gonna get your help. It just ain't coming from me. I'm not the one to help you. It may be somebody else. That's if you won't help at all. It would just be somebody else. But fully understanding the snake, the nature of a snake, why the snake is there, why the snake keep biting you, what made a person a snake, how some people don't even want to be a snake. They just doing it because that's what they know. Even people that want to be a snake. When you get the full understanding of it all, this is when the healing can begin. This is when you can finally accept, okay, I went through a bad experience. Something happened to me. But you know what? It happened to me for a reason. It's something to learn from this. It's something to get from this. What is it meant for me to learn from this? Either something about myself or something about the other person. And once I get that, once I learn what it is that I need to learn, then I really begin to be free and let it go. Let this wound become a scar. Let this bite, let this snake bite, wherever your snake bite is, let it become, hallelujah, let it become a scar. And you don't have to always hide your scars. Or some scars don't have to always be covered up. No, let people see your scars. I'll be right back. Go grab it from my thing, but let people see it and let it become scars. I drew a few snake bites when this happened to me, and when I say it was so intense, it was very disturbing to look at. It was hard to draw. Just looking at it made me itch, and I just want to show you right quick. This is one of them. This is the snake bite called misunderstood. This is the snake bite called dismantle. This is the snake bite called abused. This is the snake bite called bullied. This is the snake bite called manipulation. And this is the snake bite called overlooked. You see how big these are? And the way that it looked, this is how it looked in the vision. And it was like this big, just on my hand, on my leg, on my arm. And like I said, it was just kind of like disturbing to me. But as I drew these out, and because I was gonna, when I went through this and I read, wrote down a revelation he gave me. But as I drew these and I had them, like I said, when I would look at it, I would feel that feeling again. But as I began to pray, and like I said, go through my deliverance and begin to heal, it got to the point where I can look at this and it didn't bother me no more. I can look at this and see it for exactly what it is, a drawing on a piece of paper. I can look at it and not feel embarrassed. I can look at it and not feel ashamed. I can look at it and not feel bad. Like the healing was really taking place from within. So I held on to these. And anytime I would go through something, anytime I would experience something, I would take a look at these drawings. I would take a look at these snake bites to remind myself, okay, look at what you've been through in the past. Look at what has happened to you in the past. Or say if I go through another situation where I'm misunderstood, right? I've been through this before. This is a mark. This is a sign that I've been through this before and I overcame it. I've been through this before and it didn't break me. It made me. This was 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And also it does humble. it humbles. It just helped me remember how it doesn't matter who you are, you will go through some things. Anything can happen to you, anything can take place, but it's all about why it take place, why it happens to you. What was the purpose of me going through that situation? What was the purpose of it? And to be honest with you, I really learned who I really was, because nobody is going to come after nobody that strong if you was nobody. Nobody is not. You're not gonna come at nobody that strong. So, as stated, the understanding of the situation and the understanding of these snakes will definitely help you see and will definitely help you heal. I'm gonna close this out and I'm gonna go ahead and just come back and return. It's so much to say, but I have to kind of, like I said, squeeze it in. But this is starting the series of the snake parable. I will see you guys later on my next video. Have a good night.